In this tutorial, what I would like to show you is how to take a photograph or this scene and personalize it using the compositional shape and use it to your advantage so you don't always have to copy what you see. Now, if you remember, if you haven't gotten to the three-point perspective demo yet and you got the compositional shape demo first, I did use this drawing very briefly in the three-point perspective, so ignore like these lines on the side. Now, basically, a lot of the compositional shape is about light and shade. And so what I'm going to do now, my compositional shape for this, let me do it very small here for you, is going to be this. I want to utilize the tone on the wall, and then I'm going to kind of wrap around this way. All right, so most of this whole section of my composition is going to be in shadow. What I want to have break that compositional line is my bench. And let's say someone either standing next to the bench, talking with someone sitting on there, something kind of like that. Alright, so now let's just kind of do it here. Now again, I don't think I'm going to get realistic with this. It's going to be very impressionistic. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to block in my tone for the second floor darkness up there. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. And let's even get rid of that banner and make that all dark, that kind of hall. It's actually a store, but we're going to turn it into a dark hallway. And in between these columns, let's really make this dark too. And let's do our best to keep the integrity of the column so we don't destroy that white of the paper. So right now we're starting to get a little patchy, like the Amish quilt thing. God, I better not get any letters. Alright, so now let's utilize the compositional shape. So we're going to try to pull from this. It's not going to be perfect because I made this like a little long. So let's pull from here. That is that. So now this whole side of the composition, I'm going to choose to do a middle tone. And so this is where you take reference that you have and you don't copy it. Again, if you wanted to be like a little bit more creative, and you know, I always say over and over to all of you that photography is part of my process, and you know, I like photography and a lot of my creative process happens in the photography. So if I'm using my own photos, then I feel like I'm not cheating per se, because they're my photos and I compose them inside my camera and I do all the legwork to go find like the right scene. If I'm just taking a random photo off of like Getty1.com or Corbis.com, that's different. That's just copying from a photo. So now I've got my compositional shape, so I've got my dark, I've got my middle tone, I've got my light. Now some of these lines that I have down here are a little distracting, so let me get rid of them. Some of the compositional lines, and I might even get rid of like this balcony. Yeah, let me just kind of trash all this. And let me just give me 1 second to get my brush. So let's push this one more notch. So we've got this thing, we've got this little architectural area with where those flowers are. We'll come on down here with some dark line. I don't care about screwing up the drawing. It's about the compositional shape. And let's go dark over here with this bench. Now, we've got this bench. Let me get a new pencil. And this bench I might want to keep the integrity of just a tad. So let's say I've got like a person and they're sitting down. Just draw them as like a slinky. Really dark. And they could be having a secret meeting with this person who's standing up. Probably two of my students waiting for me to meet them in the lobby of the Met, saying, "Where is this guy? He's late." Okay, so now I've got my compositional line, and they are breaking that along with the dark mahogany bench. So now I think, or at least I hope that you're getting a better feel now for manipulation of the values in your images. And now using a compositional shape, aka this little thing, to confront a blank white sheet of paper. So now let's say I want to do like one more thing here, and I want it to like lead your eye. Maybe I can have someone standing like right over here, and they could be like somewhat, or two people standing against like a light column, and they could be breaking this compositional line as well. So maybe you look here first and then here second, because I just made those a little sharper. If I just kind of smudge that, and now I just make these people a little bit more chiseled and a little bit more blacker, harder edge. Now you look here. Okay, so compositional line. You can do light stuff. Let's say I was going to do those lines that are on the floor, and I could even put like another person over here. But I'm going to choose, as the artist working on this drawing, to make them wear light clothes. Like I could pull from the inspiration of this guy right over here. There's like classic tourist with the white shirt on and, you know, the nice hat, and he's coming to the Met for the first time. And so now I could just use that like little shadow shape in between his legs, little shadow on the ground, little shadow under his hat. But you indicate like a person over there, but they're not kind of screwing with your composition. So now I just add some like extras, a little bit darker. Let's get in some detail over here, some perspective detail. So I can have like groups of people now over here. I got to be careful that I make them all like a relative size so they don't look too huge. Just going to push this a little bit more. So now you know what I'm talking about when I say compositional shape. The last part of this, I just want to push the detail a little bit more in terms of tonal detail, not actual detail. Just crisp some things up. Maybe sharpen this edge. This would really be sharp right where the people are that I want you to talk, that I want you to see talking. And, you know, maybe I'll have this line in the shadow a little bit darker. This line in the shadow. Punch these people up a little bit more. Okay, so now this uses everything. It uses perspective. It uses 3 values. Okay, it uses value, control, and edges to lead my eye. It uses a compositional shape. It leaves one area empty. We have areas of busyness. So if this was going to be like a finished illustration, now it totally works. You can lead my eye up here if you wanted to. The next part would just be add in detail, which is not what this demo is about. All right, thanks for watching.